Touchdown with KRBE's Freddy Cruz.
In 2004, Equilibrio was founded by 4 individuals and now has a team of 80 coaches across 6 continents. And here to talk about it, please welcome Lewis Sr. and Chameka Scott.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
Okay, so your main vision is helping people realize their potential. How?
We work with major corporations and organizations worldwide to improve safety, teamwork, and communications. We guide individuals and teams to understand and leverage diversity of personal thought to minimize risk, increase quality and efficiency, and enhance overall human performance.
So talk about diversity of thought and why that's so important in any kind of environment, whether it's education or the workforce.
Because as individuals, we all have our own personality, and lots of times that gets missed. And so we have a simple process called the E-Colors where we identify people, help people identify their E-Colors. It helps them understand their own strengths and potential limiters. And once they can leverage their strengths and manage their potential limiters, people can tap into that resource.
And then we can reach one common goal, because I think in the workforce and in the in the classroom, there is that one goal that you have. And with all these differing personalities and characters and such, it sometimes it gets to be chaos. So I'm assuming it's more about channeling getting the organized chaos, so to speak.
Very much so. And if we take it in the different levels, so in heavy industry, it helps chaos around safety, leadership, and communication along with teamwork. We help people reduce incidents in high risk industries, all the way through to teams where people can understand each other and work together in a more harmonious way. And in schools, we help reduce bullying, increase in graduation rates, and absenteeism goes completely down.
And Chameka, being a former WNBA player, how have you been able to integrate your experience working and being coached by multiple personalities with what you're doing at Equilibria?
Just like you mentioned, we're bringing our personalities to any one goal. And when you do that, you have to think of it in terms of processing information, sharing information. And so, for example, you got a 30-second timeout. Well, not everybody in that timeout processes information the same way, and not every coach gives information the same way. So if we learn how to visually give that kind of some life, we can maximize the communication in instances like that. That's only going to enhance the team effort.
So you got a pretty important role in the upcoming Super Bowl via your E-Colors program. So first, let's talk more about E-Colors and job training for people who are about to take on their volunteer roles, and then the role of E-Colors in volunteers.
So first of all, we've already had over 7,500 volunteers have taken their personality diversity indicator. So up to now, they have found out what their E-Colors are. They have watched a video that lasts about 20 minutes that gives them an overall view. And as we get closer to the date, they'll be receiving a wristband which will help them identify their style and when to press what we call pause and when they're going to press play.
Huh.
So if they are volunteering in an area where people come along and seem to want very little information, they will be able to give little information. If somebody comes along and apparently needs a lot more information because their personality style desires a lot of information, they'll be able to do that as well. So ultimately, they'll be able to completely enhance the fan experience and the people who are coming to Houston.
This is phenomenal. 20-minute video for 7,500 volunteers, and then they watch it. They get a bracelet, which they press the buttons on it, and it's just going to make this into one cohesive unit.
Yes, and actually, all being well, by the time the event happens, more than 7,500 people have taken the personality diversity indicator. On the wristband, it's the Houston Super Bowl host committee who've allowed to make this happen.
Right.
And then the actual message is live with intention. So if you think about all the things that are going on in the world today, by people being intentional, making the right choices, be it through communication, through their actions and reactions, then you're going to get a much better result.
So we can't speak for every visitor that's going to be coming to the big game, but
Sure.
we know that what we've offered the volunteers is an opportunity to expedite that team building experience within their own small work group. So no matter what position or what job they have related to bringing the game and bringing the excitement to the fans and visitors, they're going to be able to do it more cohesively and as a better unit, but also in a quicker time frame. The E-Colors are very quick, they're very simple, and that lends to this kind of environment, which is putting on the Super Bowl.
And it's huge because you're talking about thousands of people from all walks of life, and they're coming together again, one video, one wristband, and it's for one event. And it's something really that they're going to be able to take with them for the rest of their careers.
That's right. So how do we maximize that experience?
Yeah.
And like Lewis mentioned, doing it intentionally so that years from now they look back and it was the best that it possibly could be.
So what's going to be very interesting about the next few weeks is not only are the volunteers getting exposed to the e-colors, but also thanks to our relationship with the Houston Super Bowl host committee, we're actually going to be taking the e-colors to the bus drivers, taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and limo drivers. So when people have their first experience coming into Houston, they're going to get exposed. And what we are doing, as a special thank you present to everybody who's involved, we are in the process of building a complete self-paced online training program that everybody who gets involved with us will get for free when the Super Bowl is over. So there's a very strong legacy going to be left post-Super Bowl.
Sounds like a win, 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 and win.
That is the idea.
How can e-colors be integrated into the classroom? Let's say we have Houston teachers that are listening right now, and this is really striking a chord with me. But what about the teachers who want to really channel this into their classrooms? How could they do so?
So we started to take e-colors into schools about 5 years ago. We started actually here in Houston at Southwest. We took it into the middle and high school and began to see very quickly how easily the children began to relate to their e-colors. Immediately we saw bullying go down, we saw graduation rates go up, and we saw a much kind of higher level of tolerance both between the teachers and the pupils. So 2.5 years ago, we actually formed e-colors in education. And the principal, who was the principal at Southwest, she's now our CEO of e-colors in education. And today, we're in schools all over America. And we're starting at about 7 years old.
That is huge. Now, the website, ecolorsineducation.org, that is one word, ecolorsineducation.org. We're talking about integrating multiple personalities, achieving one goal. I've got Lewis Sr., I've got Chameka Scott. She is a former WNBA player. Now, Chameka, I do want to ask you, what can athletes do in terms of becoming better teammates? When it comes to after the fact, after they play their sports and they're into the workforce, what can they do with regards to e-colors and becoming better teammates in the workforce?
I think one thing that the e-colors did for me was it gave me a language to help translate exactly how my professional sports career did implement into the workforce, or the real world is what we call it. And so a lot of times we feel like we're entering with no experience, but there are parallels to what we've been doing our entire lives, to
Absolutely.
what we're going to move forward and do. And so the language around understanding your strengths and understanding your potential limiters is universal. And so once you kind of grasp a little bit of the e-color language, it allows you to communicate that more effectively when you're going on these new interviews, when you're trying to enter a new industry, and just trying to kind of reinvent yourself in a different direction. Ecolorsineducation.org
if you want to get in there and take the personality diversity indicator. They've been helping more than 7,500 volunteers for Super Bowl 51 with the e-colors program. Lots of great insight and resources you can check out. Talking to Lewis Sr. and Chameka Scott. Thank you so much for both coming by Around H-Town.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Stand by for more of Around H-Town next.
104.1 KRBE.